Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. It is 24 degrees out here. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to talk about some current event situation to bring it all around. And then I'm interested in your comments on the general situation. Back when I was about 35, I was walking down the hallway at the place where I worked. It was in the morning. I think I was going for a cup of coffee. And a buddy of mine is walking the other way down the hallway. Hey man, what's up? And he goes, I realized something on the way to work today. And I said, yeah, what's that? And he said, I am a bad mamma jamma. He actually used a different term, but we're trying to keep it PG-13 here. And I chuckled because, unlike me and all my Airborne Ranger Green Beret glory, this guy was an Apache helicopter pilot, which is cool in and of itself. But it's not like he ran around the airfield with us in the morning, or lifted weights with us at lunch, or knew any martial arts, or shot particularly well, anything like that. And he was Army fit, meaning he could pass the PT test. But in what I was thinking about bad mamma jamma, he wasn't really there. And he knew that, which is why he was telling the story. And so I said, he said, I realized something. I said, yeah, what's that? And he said, I'm a bad mamma jamma. And I said, oh, yeah, why is that? And he started laughing. And he said, I can kick most of the world's ass. Words in the Bible. And I said, what? Because I'm thinking, man, I could take this guy apart in about 30 seconds. And he goes, well, think about it. I can kick everybody's butt. I'll just use that word. Who's 80 years old and over. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, every 12-year-old and below, I can kick their butt. I said, yeah. And he goes, let's call it 90% of women in the world. I can kick their butt. I said, yeah. He goes, and then out of the remaining guys between, 12 or whatever he said and 80, I could take at least half of them. I started laughing, and I'm like, I gotta be careful, it's rocky and slippery, and I'm looking at you instead of the ground. I started laughing. He goes, I can definitely kick most of the world's butt. And I was like, wow, it's an interesting way of looking at it. But he was right. That was the truth. He could. So, transfer that over to, I'm not really into sports. I don't really follow sports all that much. I don't participate really in any sports anymore. But I used to. And I used to run ultra marathons, right? 50, 100-mile races. And they generally had two main and two subcategories in the races of competitors, male and female. And then they had master's class, male and female. And I think, as I recall, master's class was like 50 years old and over. Why do they do that? And so they gave gold medals, silver medals, and bronze medals or awards, first, second, third, within those categories to the people who participated. And why do they do that? Because if they didn't, it would always be, again, I'm painting with a little bit of a broad brush, a 25 to 35-year-old male who won. Now, granted, there was a woman back when I was running named Ann Trayson who was phenomenal. I remember a friend of mine said one time, a male friend, said, I want to have her babies. She was a phenomenal ultra runner, and she won many ultra marathons outright, meaning she was the fastest runner on the course. But she was rare for that. So generally speaking, they would have male and female categories, and then, you know, the old geezers, the 50-year-olds and up, give them their own category so they could shine. Have you ever watched or followed the CrossFit Games? They purport to be looking for the strongest man and woman, or the most fit, I don't know how they phrase it, in the world. Those competitors are superior specimens. The women who win CrossFit, you know, who place first, second, or third, they could kick, well, if they know how to fight. I don't know that they know how to fight. They could destroy most men in most competitions. I mean, they're just super fit. They're in like the top 0.5%, top 0.1% of humanity. Well, so are the men. And they're amazing humans, the things they can do. You know, they're fast, they're strong, they have endurance, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the people who follow the CrossFit Games, they can talk about the people who came in, you know, in the first 5 spaces of the men and women's categories. Oh, yeah, they came in 5th last year, but this year they're looking pretty good. And, you know, it's just like sports, right? Stats and stuff like that. But, you know, if you took the CrossFit competitor who finished, I don't know, 10th, the male, you know, he came in 10th place. Nobody even knows his name, right? They don't know him. But if you had him do the women's course, he'd dominate it. There'd be no competition from these awesome, you know, Iceland Annie or whatever they call her, Annie Thorsdottir, an amazing human being, right? He'd dominate her. There's no competition, even though no one even knows his name in the men's category. Why is that? Because, praise the Lord, men and women are different. Vive la différence. Men are stronger than women. Men are faster than women. And that's why they do the different categories. So, what in the heck is going on with these so-called transgender athletes? You know, the guy who finished, totally making this up. I don't mean to demean anybody here, but let's just say the guy who came in, you know, 10th place in CrossFit for the guys, decides he's going to identify as a woman next year and go compete against the women instead. So he wins the award. He'll win. No problem. He'll win. Now that doesn't happen because, generally speaking, CrossFitters are pretty, you know, normal. Oh yeah, I went there. But I cannot believe that they're allowing men, Y chromosome, to compete as women because they self-identify as a woman, and then awarding them the medal, the gold, the certificate, the whatever. Why should the women even compete at that point? Why not just have a human category? We're just going to do the best rowing human, the best, whatever. Why even have a women's category if you're not going to make sure women do it? Because what's your psychological state of mind? And how do you know it's even real? How do you know it's not just some loser, which is my whole point for this video? I think transgender athletes are losers. Losers. Oh, so you beat the girls. Good for you. You know, I was reading about some, this was a while ago, but I was reading about some transgender, a male who dresses up like a girl, who was winning wrestling against women. You think? You think? So I can half understand someone being nuts in the brain, possessed of demons, just mental issues out the wazoo, who wants to think that if they're a man, they think they're a woman, or if they're a woman, they think they're a man. I can wrap my mind around that. But here's where you and I, are in trouble. And that is that the sports commission of whatever sports, the referees, the judges, the whatever, all go along with this madness. Now, you would think they're kind of normal people. You know, I sit on the board of the, soccer federation or the boxing or the, MMA or the wrestling or, whatever. You think, yeah, they're generally normal people. And the referees or the coaches or, whatever, you think they're normal people. They're all going along with this madness. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's true. Men are men and women are women. God created men and women differently. Men have a Y chromosome, women don't. And therein lies all the difference. This world is going cray-cray. I mean, people line up for this stuff. If I decided I wanted to identify as a turtle and I entered the county fair turtle race, do you think I'd win? Do I get the prize? I identify as a... Well, no, we're not talking about animals and people, you speciesist. If I decided I wanted to identify as an 8-year-old girl and entered the 10K race or the 5K fun run or something, do I get the gold prize? And I was thinking about that when I was thinking about this video. Bruce Jenner, right? I don't even know what he tried to change his name to. I don't care. Bruce Jenner, I don't know, did he get fake boobs and like wear a wig or grow his hair out and wear makeup and stuff? Okay, so he identifies as a woman. Well, I was thinking, what if he grew a beard and shaved his head and still identified as a woman? Are you saying he's not identifying as a woman that way? Who are you to decide what women look like? I've seen women with shaved heads. Some women grow facial hair. Poor things. You saying they're not women? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I could just go just like this and say, well, I'm identifying as a 3-year-old girl. I want to enter the stroller contest or something. It just doesn't make sense. And again, I understand the individual. I don't understand them. I get the individuals. Some dude looks like me and says I identify as a woman. Okay, you're a knucklehead. You're a weirdo. I understand that. I mean, I can wrap my head around it. But I don't understand everybody accepting it and saying, yeah, okay, you're a woman. No, he's not. Man, you know what? I am glad I live out here, away from the maddening crowd. Come out of her, my people. That doesn't just mean physically. What was that? Turn on, tune in, drop out, something like that. Those hippies may have had something there. All right, what do you think? I'll see you out there.